Itadori Yuji, the Cog, the Wolf, the Strongest, whatever you like to call him. He started off like you and me, a normal high school boy with friends and dreams. Okay, maybe he's not exactly normal. It's better to call Yuji a demon god, fated to eliminate evil known as curses from the world with his arsenal of curse techniques. But he didn't get where he is today out of genuine kindness. Yuji achieved his strength through being a pawn in a centuries-long game, a man born to house the greatest evil in the world, gaining strength but also empowering an evil force. Chihiro Rokuhira is similar to Yuji in many ways, as he's also burdened with responsibility, a responsibility to ensure that powerful weaponry don't bring upon unneeded death and destruction. Although he himself possesses such a weapon, it's up to him whether or not to use it to protect his loved ones or bring upon vengeance. With Yuji and Chihiro so similar in terms of their motivations and their roles, it made me wonder what would happen if these two men came into conflict. Chihiro, the man who wishes to obtain his father's treasured swords, or Yuji, the boy who aims to eradicate curses from the world, who will come out on top. Now before the video, I know what some of you are thinking.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
While yes, it's true that Kagurabachi is still very much a new series, with only 30 chapters as the recording of this video, I intended on making this video for fun, based on two characters from series I'm a massive fan of. While it's true that Kagurabachi is still in its infancy, as long as the series remains running, Chihiro will continue to grow in strength and add new moves to his arsenal.
認めるよ、真人。
Yuji's raw physical strength is nothing short of amazing. His sheer strength alone is enough to make even grade 1 sorcerers like Todo and Nanami look weaker by comparison. With a single strike, he can shatter concrete walls, send opponents flying with bone-crushing force, throw cars like their feathers, throw entire chunks of concrete in less than a second, and bend steel with zero effort. And he can do most of this without cursed energy. Cursed energy augments his strength even more, giving him the ability to damage curses who pride themselves in their durability. Beings like Hanami could shrug off a piercing blood that normally moves faster than sound, and Yuji was able to exert more force overall. Yuji's strength is complemented by his martial arts skills. His prowess is legendary, matched only by a select few. He can seamlessly blend martial arts with cursed energy to a point where powerful curses are taken off guard by his skills. It is said that if Yuji fought his fellow classmates all without cursed energy, Yuji will likely win. Yuji's fighting skills is typically represented as being incredibly acrobatic in his movements, allowing him to strike his opponents from a variety of angles, while also evading multiple incoming blows. Yuji is even able to pause his punch just before impact. Yuji's martial arts become even more deadly with his speed and reflexes. With it, he can dodge piercing blood at point-blank range, an attack which on many occasions is said to be faster than the speed of sound. He was even able to keep up with Maki in her battle with Sukuna, a character who bullied a curse that can move a Mach 3 in its top speed. That's not all. Yuji can also scale a 20-story building in a single leap. Outside of his insane physical feats, Yuji has 5 special abilities thanks to his cursed energy control. First is the Divergent Fist, a technique that allows Yuji to apply a second impact with his strikes. This occurs because of a delay in his cursed energy and physical attacks. It isn't particularly powerful, but it can be delayed, allowing Yuji to take an opponent off guard at any moment in a battle. The second ability Yuji has is a Black Flash, a technique that amplifies the user's physical strikes when cursed energy is applied within 1/millionth of a second. A Black Flash amplifies a physical strike by the power of 2, and depending on the circumstances, it can either send an opponent flying or outright knock them unconscious, regardless of their strength as a sorcerer. Yuji's said to be blessed by the sparks of black, as he holds the record for the most black flashes in history. It's almost like he can do it on command, and with every black flash, his other skills and physical abilities increase. The third ability in Yuji's arsenal is RCT, giving him the power to heal his injuries no matter how severe, as long as they don't outright cut him in half. But Yuji is already incredibly durable based on his ability to tank being blasted through several buildings with minor injuries. The fourth is his own version of Sukuna's shrine technique. With it, Yuji can dismantle and cut apart anything he touches with his bare hands. Although this ability is still in its weakest state due to low curse energy output, Yuji can perform a limited version of blood manipulation, giving him the ability to perform basic techniques like piercing blood and exploding blood. Finally, Yuji has a pair of special curse tools in the shape of full body gloves that allows him to shake one's soul with every strike. But I know all this, and you know all this. There's dozens of videos already on how much of a beast he is. Yuji is strong. He has been called a demon god and has special great potential by many. Even Sukuna can't help but be intrigued by Yuji, despite what you might say on the surface. However, how exactly would this new potential god of the world fare against the new up-and-comer in the supernatural battle genre? In the world of Kagurabachi, there exists a special energy force called Spirit Energy. Spirit Energy is very similar to human life force and acts as the basis for the power system of the universe. Spirit Energy exists within all humans, and thus all humans have the ability to utilize Spirit Energy for different purposes. One of these purposes is the technique of sorcery. By manipulating your Spirit Energy, humans have the ability to transform it into unique powers. This is called sorcery, and in the world of Kagurabachi, sorcery abilities can take on many different forms, whether it's the ability to teleport or create flaming boners. However, it's not just living things that have spirit energy. There exists a special mineral that appeared in the world not too long ago, and only 250 kilograms have been found. This mineral is called the Tenseki, and just like humans, it contains its own spirit energy. It is theoretically possible for a human to absorb the energy from this stone and become more powerful than before. However, the spirit energy from the Tenseki is so immense and unstable that it acts as a deadly poison. When a human touches the Tenseki, its spirit energy flows into the body. It causes it to explode internally, killing or heavily injuring the wielder. Only one man in history has ever managed to stabilize this mineral to a point where it could not only be touched but also forged. This man is Chihiro Rokuhira, a legendary swordsmith. After stabilizing the Tenseki, he would use the mineral to create 7 powerful enchanted blades imbued with their own unique sorcery. These enchanted blades are far more powerful than your average sorcerer, to the extent that one enchanted blade user with barely any experience can defeat an entire group of elite sorcerers. If a sorcerer was like a stick of dynamite and a high tier sorcerer was like a tank, then an enchanted blade is like a nuke. Enchanted blades amplify an individual's internal spirit energy to the point where it can no longer be stored and controlled within the body. However, instead of the body exploding like with the Tenseki, the blades siphon out the amplified energy the body cannot handle and focuses it into a mass of spirit energy that emerges in the shape of avatars. For Chihiro, this leaked and amplified spirit energy takes the form of 3 giant goldfish. Kuro wards off evil, Aka attracts good fortune, and Nishiki, apparently, is really amazing. Now, like I mentioned earlier, each enchanted blade has sorcery imbued into them, and this sorcery comes in the form of 3 unique abilities that fit a certain theme. Chihiro's blade, Enten, has 3 unique abilities which are represented by the 3 goldfish I mentioned earlier. Kuro, or Black, is the most deadly ability Chihiro has at his disposal. After calling its name, the blade is covered in a black liquid. N10 is then able to send out a flying and invisible slash that tears apart everything in its path. This attack is able to cut through humans, stone, and metal like a hot knife through butter, and has massive range. Kuro is also kinda like a camera, as Chihiro can see through its eyes, so he sends it out into locations to scope out an area. Aka, or red, is Chihiro's second ability. In simple terms, it gives Chihiro the power to nullify or parry any attack that comes in contact with it. This is by Aka absorbing the energy of the attack in question, making that said attack weaker, and ensuring that Chihiro comes out almost unscathed. This can be seen with its ability to nerf a point-blank explosion or an electrical attack that was meant to vaporize an entire crowd of people, but this is only one half of what Aka can do when Chihiro absorbs an attack. That same attack is basically stored within the blade. Chihiro is able to release the absorbed attack, hitting his opponent with their own sorcery. However, it's worth noting that Aka does have a threshold of what it can absorb. If an attack is too powerful, Chihiro can only parry it. Nishiki is the third and arguably most important ability in Chihiro's arsenal. Nishiki combines with Chihiro's body and sorta acts like a cloak. What it does is augment Chihiro's body with high density spirit energy, which massively increases his strength, speed, and durability. Speed is by far Chihiro's greatest asset. When cloaked in Nishiki, Chihiro is able to keep up with Sojo, a fellow enchanted blade user who cloaked himself in lightning and was able to move at his incredible speeds. Although Chihiro admitted that Sojo was faster, he was still able to keep up with and eventually outmaneuver Sojo. Even without this feat, Chihiro is able to dispatch an entire room of people and sorcerers in seconds. While the enchanted blades have only demonstrated a maximum of 3 unique abilities, there is a concept referred to as a true realm. This is a phenomenon in which the swords respond to the wielder's thoughts and instincts, allowing the blade to increase and adjust its power to suit the wielder's demands. As a result, Chihiro was able to develop a new application, a Kuro, named Scatter, which allows him to divide his Kuro slashes into dozens of miniature slashes that pack more power overall. This means that Chihiro is able to invent new applications of his abilities the more a fight goes on, making this red-eyed swordsman an even greater threat than anyone could have imagined. Now that we know their basic abilities, it's important to list out the unique advantages and similarities of each fighter over the other. Both Yuji and Chihiro are incredibly versatile. They have more than one distinct ability that can be used in a variety of situations. They're both also incredibly adaptable. No matter the situation they're in, the abilities they possess can evolve rapidly in one encounter, to the point where they become massively stronger in a short span. Okay, but what are the advantages of each fighter? Starting with Chihiro, he very clearly has more range and speed compared to Yuji. Kuro is similar to Dismantle in the way in which it sends out a flying slash. From what we've seen on several occasions, it's capable of dissecting fully grown humans when Chihiro is in his peak form with no injuries or fatigue. Nishiki allows Chihiro to travel close to the speed of lightning. Chihiro can also strategize within this level of speed while fatigued, which showcases his immense battle IQ when under pressure. Yuji's unique advantages are his raw strength, durability, and endurance. Yuji can casually throw cars like they're nothing. He has enough durability to tank being blown through several buildings, and his use of RCT guarantees that he can keep fighting for hours on end. Chihiro, right out the bat, has a clear advantage in a confrontation. Speed and range are far more important than you think. With his nearly lightning speed, Chihiro can easily close in on Yuji and dodge around any strikes he might throw. Yuji's fast, don't get me wrong, but he's never dealt with this level of speed before, and JJK characters in general seem to overall struggle to dodge attacks, moving at the speed of lightning and faster. Even Yuji's blood manipulation will be useless, since Chihiro can easily dodge them with his speed and lightning fast reaction time. Kuro is also dangerous for Yuji due to the element of surprise. For one thing, it's invisible, making it incredibly difficult to dodge. and is lethal, slicing anyone it touches with ease. However, Kuro does have an exploitable weakness, and that is the fact that his trajectory is dictated by Chihiro's sword swings. With Yuji's insane reflexes and speed, it wouldn't be too difficult for him to dodge each blow from Kuro. It's also not nearly as fast as Nishiki. However, this becomes a lot more difficult for Yuji if Chihiro cloaked himself in Nishiki beforehand, allowing Chihiro to race around the battlefield while launching flying slashes from multiple angles. With this level of speed, it's likely that Yuji will get hit at least once. And if it's a fully powered Kuro Slash, it's pretty much game over for Yuji. However, as long as the Kuro Slash isn't at its maximum output, Yuji can easily tank it with his immense durability and heal any damage with RCT.
Bro, Yuji's stronger than Chihiro. Only take one punch to knock out this overhyped main protagonist.
Well, not quite. While it is true that Yuji on average has higher strength feats than Chihiro, that only applies to the base version of Chihiro. Once he coats himself in Nishiki, his punches and kicks should be close to or on par with Yuji's. Why? Well, you only have to take one look at this panel. Here, we see Sojo casually smashing through a giant boulder and almost completely destroying it. This boulder, at least, is the size of a small to medium-sized building. Sojo was able to achieve this by cloaking himself in Mei, which is one of the 3 abilities of his enchanted blade, granting him the speed of lightning. Chihiro, after cloaking himself in Nishiki, is able to clash with and go toe-to-toe with Sojo with the same coating, showcasing how Nishiki's strength and speed is relative to the buffs Sojo achieved. Yuji himself has not shown any strength feats massively surpassing what Sojo and Chihiro can accomplish, meaning that in a battle with a Nishiki cloaked Chihiro and Yuji, they're evenly matched in strength. However, even if Chihiro has similar strength and has the edge in speed and range, Yuji can still win if he catches Chihiro at close range. Chihiro's powerful, but he's still human, meaning that he can tire out after fighting for a long period of time. Yuji doesn't have to worry about this due to his abnormal physical skills and RCT, so if Yuji manages to outlast Chihiro in a battle of endurance, Yuji can very easily close the distance and hit Chihiro with a black flash or consecutive black flashes. Just one of these landing is capable of taking him out, but multiple of these at once will be a death sentence. This is especially dangerous with the many tactics Yuji can employ at close range, such as blood manipulation, which can blind him, his divergent fist technique, which can disrupt any counterattacks, and his shrine technique, which can easily dismember parts of Chihiro's body. Chihiro can attempt to use Aka to absorb the damage from the Black Flash, but with Yuji's exceptional hand-to-hand skills, he can easily swipe away the blade and destroy it in less than a second. However, both these fighters are exceptionally good under pressure. It's very possible that Chihiro can escape the situation with an evolution of one of his techniques, especially with his high-level battle IQ. So in a battle between Yuji and Chihiro, there isn't really a definitive winner. Chihiro has the advantage when it comes to speed and the element of surprise. He could not alive Yuji at the very start of the battle, where Yuji doesn't truly understand his abilities. But at the same time, if Yuji somehow survived his onslaught of attacks, he can eventually wear down Chihiro's stamina, close in, and one-shot him with a Black Flash. So in a battle between these two scarred warriors, I'd say Chihiro wins 40% of the time, Yuji wins 44% of the time, it's a draw 5% of the time, and the last 10% is both parties realizing that they're actually pretty chill and choosing not to fight at all. They'd bond over their shared trauma and support each other in their missions to eradicate evil from the world.